First off, I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Thanks, Frank, Linda, everybody involved with this award. It's truly an honor to be here, and to see all the pictures of guys that have won the award in the past. It's pretty cool. Just the NFL, it's a small community. People know each other. It seems like everybody's connected somehow. I've gotten to know a lot of these men, and just the character that they show, they're deserving of this award. And so I'm honored to be here in Buffalo. I never thought that Buffalo would be a place that would be so welcoming to me and my wife JJ, but we're thankful to be here. So when I got the award and I knew that I was going to get up here and talk, I wanted to find out exactly what I want to talk about. And a lot of people in the game of football, they talk about three things. They talk about faith, family, football. Those are like it's the order of how you want to view things. I'm going to add another F in there with my foundation because Buffalo has been very generous to us. So first thing I'm going to talk about is my family. I think we've got a picture that we can put up here of my family. There we go. So first off, I've got my wife JJ up here. I wouldn't be in this position. Yeah, give her a round of applause. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without her. She's been my biggest supporter. She pushes me to be my best. She's selfless. She loves everybody, and I'm just very thankful for our almost 8 years of marriage coming up this July, and so I'm just thankful for her, because again, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. If you look, can we get that picture back up? I'm going to brag on my kids real quick. So on the left, we have Noah. He's our oldest. He's almost 5. Of course, this was an Easter picture, and we're like, all right, let's go take a picture. And he decided he wanted to fall in the mud right before the picture. So that's why his knees are all muddy. But he's your typical oldest child, rule follower, does everything right, like just really caring. And then we have our middle son, Nash. He just turned 2, and he is a 2-year-old. And he is crazy and fun, and everything's a joke, and he loves to push people's buttons, especially his older brother. And then we have a 4-month-old daughter, Finley, and she was born this past January, and she is the calm in the storm, thankfully. So that's just a little bit about our family. And so now I just want to talk about my football journey, how I got into football. And so I started playing football when I was in 6th grade. I joined a youth team with all my friends. They had been established for a while, and I had never played football before. My dad played football in high school. He was actually a quarterback, and so I thought I'd come in and play quarterback, but I had a soccer background. The quarterback was the coach's son, and so because I had the soccer background, I was a kicker. Yeah, I was the 6th grade football kicker. That's right. But then starting in 7th grade, I started playing football when we got to the school. And then I got to high school. The way my high school worked, I went to Katy High School, just right outside Houston, Texas. And it's a big high school. Football's huge there. And the way it works is on your first 2 days of freshman football, you have a tryout. The first day you play an offensive position. The second day you play a defensive position. And then they almost have like a draft of where you're going to go. So for me, like I wanted to play quarterback, but I could have, if it happened out where they wanted me to play defense, I probably would have played defense. But on that second day, they're like, who does not want to play defense? And I was the guy that was raising my hand like, nope, not me. That's not for me. So I ended up being on our freshman B team. It was a big school, so I wasn't on the A team. I was on the freshman B team. So then my second year, I was not on JV. I wasn't on varsity. I was on our sophomore team. So I had to work my way up. Eventually, my junior year, I got on varsity. I split time with a senior quarterback at that point, and then my senior year, I was able to start, had a really good year. We played in the state finals and got a scholarship offer to TCU, and kind of the rest was history there. So once I got to college, I started 4 years in college, and my first 2 years were different than my second 2 years. My first 2 years, it was learning the game, just getting used to the speed of everything. And then after my sophomore year, we had a coordinator change. Our offensive coordinator took the same position at a different school and brought in a different offensive coordinator. And I felt like he kind of really opened it up for me. And from my last 2 years in college, my junior year we went 12-1, and my senior year we went 13-0, won the Rose Bowl, big victory, big for the school, and so I look back on my college football career and to see everything that I was able to accomplish, and I just feel blessed to not only have all the accomplishments, but to build great friends along the way and just be surrounded by great people. And then, so after college, in 2011, I was the 35th pick by the Cincinnati Bengals. I was sitting in my living room right next to JJ, and I'm watching the TV, the draft's going on, and the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. My phone rings. I'm thinking, oh, looks like we're going to Buffalo. Wasn't the case. We were the next pick. Cincinnati called me, and so we ended up in Cincinnati. This will be going on my 9th season there. And so just feel very blessed to play this game for as long as I have, been able to come across great people. And so I'm just thankful for this platform. The game of football has given me so much, has given our family so much. And so for me, for JJ, for our family, we're just trying to be good stewards with this platform that God has given us. So that's just a little bit about football for me. That is the platform that I have now, the platform that's given me the ability to stand up here right now, the platform that's given me the ability to get this award and to talk to everybody here. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I know some people have been here before, a lot of people haven't, but this is such a great event that they have put on, and I'm just thankful that all y'all are here. So a little bit about my faith journey. I grew up in a Christian home. Both my parents were Christians, grew up going to church. In 3rd grade, I accepted Jesus into my life. We had our pastor at the time. He came to our home. He was in our living room. And right there in my living room, I gave my life to Christ. My pastor's name was Dr. Wisdom. I think he had a calling that he was going to be a pastor. And so, but that was just the beginning. That was my foundation right there. As I went on, as I got through high school, I was in church all the time. I was in Wednesdays. I was in Sundays. Played in my youth band in high school. And so I felt very fortunate that I had such great friends. My grade in church, we had the largest group. It was all my friends. It made it easy to want to go to church. I know a lot of people can be in high school and they don't want to go because of very many different reasons, but I was very fortunate that I had a solid group, great friends that made it easy. And for me, I wanted to learn. And then I got to college. College is a big time for growth. Now you're on your own. The percentages of kids that go from high school to college that are in church, that leave church, I mean, it drops drastically. And so, obviously, as much as I could, I would be able to get to church, but I surrounded myself with good people, and I think that's kind of just been the theme of my life, my faith journey. And so in college, I was able to start a Christian organization, and we called it Ignite, and basically it was a worship service on campus. TCU is a small school. I think there's like 8,000 students. And for our first night that we had this worship service on campus, we had over 700 people there, which was awesome, something that obviously God had his hand on the whole time. And so then now, once I got out of college, once I got into the NFL, JJ and I got married right before my rookie year. And from there, it's just you add more onto it. Now you're on your own. I'm very thankful to have met JJ, to have her in my life, because she pushes me. She pushes our family. We've been able to grow spiritually together. We grow closer to Christ. And I think just the community that we've been able to have since being in the NFL. We have great chaplains. I know that's a big part of what this is, AIA. Our chaplains are through AIA, Lamorris and Megan Crawford. And we're thankful for just the community that we have, the people that push us, and the people that surround us. And so, on the outside, everything looks like I've had the easy life. Everything's been good. You've made it to the NFL. You've been able to accomplish a lot. And that's also been one of my biggest struggles too, is the complacency of it. you think that life's just good enough. You think you've reached a point where I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to rely on anything. I can do this all by myself. But that's obviously not the case. Everybody has a struggle, and for me, the complacency was, I felt like Satan's attack on me saying, you're just good enough. You don't have to do more. You don't have to continue to grow. And so in those moments, you realize that life isn't all that easy. Our desires are worldly. Our desires is to not focus on Christ. But that's where your faith comes in. That's where you have to work at it. And you have to understand the bigger picture and what God's calling you to do. I think when you think about eternity, in those moments, you realize that your faith with Christ, your faith with the Lord, is what really matters. How you love other people. Your life is not about you. Your experiences that you have, everything that you've gone through, good or bad, it's not for you. It's for helping somebody else. It's to relate to somebody else that's in need, or it's somebody that's going through something that you can help. That's one thing that we have realized through our 8 years of marriage. We're in a different position now in the NFL than we were when we first got here. At first, we were trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But now we've been through so many experiences. There's rookies that come on the team, first, second-year players that are newly married or are dating, and we have a great couples Bible study. It's one of our favorite nights of the week. Every Tuesday night we meet at our house, and we've got we've even had up to 10 to 15 couples be there. And just to hear people share about experiences and stuff, and you think you're the only one that's going through it. Believe it or not, you're not the only one that's going through stuff. And the experiences that you have, it's not the first time that it's happened. Other people have been through it. And so just to be in the position we're at now where we can help people and we can talk about our experiences is huge. And so I want to share one verse right now, Jeremiah 29:11. Everybody seems to know 11, but they don't see you don't usually hear 12 and 13 as well. So Jeremiah 29:11 through 13, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. So the first part of this verse is God has a plan for us. God's plan's bigger than ours. We may have a vision for what we think our life is supposed to be like. We may have a vision for how this circumstance is going to happen. But God's plan is way bigger than ours. But it's not that just God has a plan for you. The next part says, then you will call on me and come and pray to me. So the plan is in place, but now you have to take action. You need to call on the Lord to find out where he wants you, what he wants from you, who he wants you to do it with. There's so many different things with that. And then also, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. When you seek the Lord and you ask for his plan in your life, he will show it to you, and he will make it way better than you ever thought. And so with that, I feel like for me, when I'm on fire, when things are going well, I'm reading, I'm in the Word, I'm surrounding myself with the right people. Life is so much better than when it's not, because there's always that feeling whenever I'm not trying to grow in my relationship with the Lord that something's just off, and it's usually the same thing. It's getting back to the complacency of it. And so when I think about my story, I've always had a hard time sharing it, not because of I haven't done the stuff, but I haven't done things, but because some of these people have amazing stories. But what I've come to realize is everybody has a story. My story is my story. Your story is your story. And don't discount it just because it may not be something as big as somebody else's. One thing that our chaplain says all the time, and it could be about your story, it could be about opinions people have of you. We're in a business where everybody has something to say. Good, bad, right, wrong. The media, where are they over here? Yeah. They don't know what they're talking about. So But one of the biggest pieces of advice I would give you is don't let somebody else's opinion of you become your reality. That's one thing that I have really taken to heart with that. There's so many things that are said. If you're in high school, there's definitely opinions being said about you from other people, but don't let them determine who you are and who you're going to be and who you want to be. And so that's a little bit about my faith journey, which is going to lead into our foundation. JJ and I started a foundation back in 2011. The Andy and JJ Dalton Foundation, we work with sick children and kids with special needs. We have a lot of different programs in place where we give them, we've done date nights for parents. We brought kids to Kings Island, which is an amusement park in Cincinnati. We've done a Christmas party. We've done a lot of different events, but the big thing that we do is we provide financial aid where insurance doesn't cover payments of medical expenses. And so we feel just so blessed and just thankful to be in this position where we can help others. Because like I said, this life is not about us. We're using this platform that God has given me. The game of football has given me so much and given our family so much that we're trying to use it for good and help as many people as we can. And so then in 2017, we play the Baltimore Ravens. Which I don't know if any of y'all watched that game or even seen any highlights or clips of it. I know they showed a little video, but that whole year it was just a different year from a football standpoint. It was up and down. Things were good. Things weren't going as well as we'd like, but we were being faithful that God has something bigger in store for us. And we had these talks in October, November, saying something big is going to happen this year, and we don't know what it is. But for us, we were just being faithful and trusting that God has a plan. Yes, when you're not winning and the season isn't going exactly how you'd like it to, it can be hard. It can be tough on you. But for us, life was good. We realized that there was something bigger happening. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know if it was our foundation. We didn't know if it was football. We thought, okay, well, maybe it could be football, and we're going to win our last 5-6 games. We're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, but we knew something was happening. So that leads us to Baltimore. I knew nothing about Buffalo getting into the playoff. I knew that there were different scenarios going into that game where I think Buffalo could make, I think the Chargers could have made it, but we knew if we beat the Ravens, there was a chance that they weren't making the playoffs. For us, the Ravens, division rival, I mean, that was what was in our head. And so then we get down to that play, 4th and 12, throw a touchdown, win the game. It was incredible. Obviously, at that point, I had no idea what was going to happen after that play, except that we won. We knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs, and it was a big win for us. It ended our year on a high note, and guys were really just pumped in the locker room the way we ended that season, just through everything that we had gone through. And then I checked Twitter, and I see 17 years. The Bills haven't been in the playoffs. Let's donate $17 to Andy's foundation. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I see a couple more tweets. I see 20 tweets. I see 100 tweets. And then we've got a lady that runs our foundation. She calls me and is like, hey, you have no idea how big of a deal this is. In the last, 5 hours, we've gotten $25,000. I'm like, that's amazing. $25,000 is unbelievable. And so then we wake up the next morning, and it's up to $75,000, $100,000. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. What is going on? And then as time went on, it just kept to grow. $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. That said $315,000. It actually got over $400,000. So we are very appreciative of the city of Buffalo, just for everything that you've been able to give us, and not for us, but so that we can help others. You can see the generosity. Everybody sees the Bills fans and how crazy they can be, but they use that craziness for good. And when you think about the story, that's all I can think of is this story is crazy. The fact that a completely different fan base, I've seen some Bills 14 jerseys that have a different last name on it than maybe yours. But just the fact that y'all have been so generous and supportive of something that's so good. Y'all have seen our vision, seen what we have been trying to do, and helps the lives of so many people, not only just these kids, but the whole family, has been unbelievable. And then the Lord works even bigger. He's like, you know what, I'm going to give you a preseason game in Buffalo. So we go and we're thinking, okay, what can we do to give back? And it was a perfect thing for us to be able to give over to Roswell Park. They've been so gracious and just thankful for everything that we've been able to do. We are so happy to be able to support so many people in that hospital, because I know that y'all are doing so many amazing things. And so we go and we play Buffalo. I was fortunate enough, it was a little bit later game, so I was able to go over to the hospital where you could kind of see in the video that we made a donation over there. And we're just so happy to give back to this city and to give back to the place that has given us so much. And then I got the ovation at the front of before the game. They're like, here's the deal. The whole team's going to run out, and we're going to hold you back, and you're going to go out by yourself. I'm like, okay, no, that's not. We're not going to do that. It's not gonna, they're like, okay, let me go talk to somebody. And they came back, okay, you're not going to go out by yourself, but you're just going to be the last one. I'm like, okay, so y'all are holding me back, and I'm going to go out by myself. So then I go out there, the ovation. It was great. A big thank you to y'all for everything that the city of Buffalo has done for us. But now thinking about that, we do play the Bills at the home opener this year for y'all. So I'm expecting the same ovation and to be cheering us on and everything. So just so y'all know, I'm expecting that. Yeah, right. So I just want to say that everybody has a story, and I'm thankful for my story. I'm thankful that I grew up the way I did. I'm thankful that I didn't, I never had that time where I turned away from the Lord. I always knew that I could trust in His plan and know that His plan is bigger than mine. And I just want to leave you with one verse. This is a verse that we have for our foundation, what we pray over our foundation that we try to live by. It's Ephesians 2:10. And it's, for we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. And we're trying to walk in the plan that God has for us. Thank you.